Well, the car's still gone. So this is really all I got to mess with. So I never really went over what actually went wrong with the 454 that was in this C10. I think I might even mentioned it, but I never really showed it. So let me cover my dirty workbench here real quick. So here's the camshaft that came out of the truck. This lobe right here is entirely wiped out. So this is a hydraulic flat tappet setup. There's a good hydraulic flat tappet lifter. And then here is the one that was riding on this lobe. And it's completely destroyed. So the block has been at the machine shop. You know, a lot of metal and stuff went through that block, so it's just getting cleaned out. Cylinder walls, some of them look a little rough, so we might need to go 30 over, which I think 30 over, that'd make it what, like a 468 or something like that. I don't know. But so there, I mean, they still got it. The guy told me it'll be done either, well, Friday, which is past, or maybe this next week. Regardless though, I'm not going to start building that right away because I told my son, who's 13, that he's going to build that entire engine. So I've been going through and cleaning all the parts off for it. And if you don't remember, a couple years ago, I had him build he helped me with this it was a 5.7 LS engine that I built. You know, he did a couple things. He did like some lifters. He helped me install the cam, even though I put everything in. And I told him for this one, I was like, dude, this one's all you. So he's gonna actually go ahead and build this entire engine himself. He's gonna do everything. He's gonna ring the rings, he's gonna file the rings, he's going to put the cam in, he's gonna do literally anything and everything. The only thing I'm gonna do is either help him lift something like the heads onto the engine, and then double check his torque specs. That's it. He's doing everything else himself. So that'll be a whole series. My son's 13 years old now, so I think he can handle it. I mean, what 13-year-old can't build a big block Chevy? I know I couldn't. The amount of rust that I find on this thing just really pisses me off. It's not as bad as I've seen some of these trucks, but every time I run the little wire brush along, I just keep finding these damn holes. That's the worst one. That's pretty much the worst of it right there. I've seen some firewalls in these trucks that are just horrendous, but aside from that, whoever had this truck prior to the buddy of mine owning it, because he bought it off someone and I think it just basically sat in his barn. Good God, they were awful. Check this out. So this is the wiring for the alternator, plus it goes some other spots in the truck. Check that out. Guys, if you are doing this on any of your vehicles, stop working on your vehicles. I mean, there are so many better ways. This is probably a fire hazard. You got this one, what is this, a 10 gauge going into a whole bunch of other gauge wire, and they twisted it together. All I did was pull the electrical tape off that. There was another spot up there. I put that butt connector on because when I was doing some diagnostics on the engine when it was in it, that was sparking like crazy, and that was another spot where they were like, yeah, we'll just twist the wire together. And to be totally honest, I bet you the dudes that are doing this stuff are the ones in the comment section telling me that I don't know what I'm doing. What I would like to do is cut all this out and put some patch panels, but I don't have the time or the energy to do that. This is, a truck that my son is really just going to learn on. So for now, we're going to do some Bondo. We're going to do some filler. and we'll tackle this at a later time. To be quite honest, this is not a vehicle that we are fully vested in. It's just a good project. One, for my younger son to get some wrench time in. Two, for my other son to learn how to drive in. I mean, it's a giant chunk of rusty steel, you know, and we'll make it safe enough for him to drive, and you know, we'll end up getting rid of it at some point and move it on. Somebody else can fix that stuff. There's another good chunk of rust missing, which this wasn't here when I bought it. This was like painted over and smooth, and then after opening the door and closing a couple times, this chunk just fell off. And you can see some of the rust here, I guess, and who knows where that piece went. So yeah, there's another spot. I mean, outside of that, we got stuff like, need some lower control arm bushings, because that one is just not existent at all. Like I said, guys, I'm not really crazy invested in that truck, so, you know, it'll just be a fun little project, and then when we're done with it, we'll move on. Anyway, got some other stuff in for the car. This is a pressure sensor along with a 15-foot cable. This is going to be our dome pressure sensor, and I actually got this from a place called Low Dollar Motorsports. Funky50 told me about it. He got the info from, I think, No Fox Given. So these sensors on Holley's website are like $100+, whereas this one was about 30 bucks. I think maybe 35 bucks. This wire was about 15 bucks. And so I don't know how it works yet. So when I get the car back, I'll show you guys how to pin these in. I'll have to add a sensor because I'm using all the sensors. So I'll have to add a 5-volt plus a sensor ground and then have the signal wire. I'll show you guys how to do that, which, I mean, I'm just going to use this 15-foot long. They say it's 15 foot, but I swear this thing's got to be 30 feet long connector. Along with, like you saw in the last video, our Mac valve and all the stuff that we need to run our boost controller into the Holley. When we get the car back, I'm going to put the 26-inch Hoosiers back on the car. I haven't run them with the 331s yet. I had the 26 inches on when we had the 411s, 410s, whatever. And then I switched back to the 28s and then did the 331s. So our next time out to the track, these will go on. We'll see if it picks us up anything 60-foot wise or, you know, down track wise. I'm going to try and run it on the same exact setting as I did the last time we ran. My honest opinion, I think we'll actually pick up in the 60-foot with these. Maybe get a 149. I think mile per hour actually might go down. ET will stay the same. That's my guess. I'm gonna guess pick up in the 60-foot, lower mile an hour by a few points, and then same ET. Oh, well, that's the first time he've accomplished that feat. This thing has been jumping up and down for days, and he couldn't get up there. Two of you now. Yep. I guess you're the champion. So that's really all that's been going on around here. You know, not really too much when the car's not here, so I just kind of wanted to end this video off. Kind of just wanted to pay tribute to those lost, you know, in combat or missing in action. You know, this Memorial Day means a lot to me. It means a lot to a lot of us, especially, you know, I have a very good friend, had a very good friend who, you know, was killed in my first tour in Afghanistan, and he had a huge impact on my life. His name was Staff Sergeant Michael Hosey. He was an Alabama native. Probably the best red-blooded American I've ever met in my life. Didn't care where you were from, didn't care what you did, didn't care what you looked like. You know, he treated everybody the same. About this time last year, maybe a little before, we went and they dedicated a VFW after him down in his hometown in Alabama. It was the first time a lot of us had been together, you know, since, what, 10 years ago now. So I kind of did this whole video already about, you know, kind of paying tribute to Mike, and I don't know, it was just kind of somber, and I didn't really want to put it out there. So all I wanted to say was, if you find yourself, missing someone who's not here anymore, killed in combat. But yeah, I mean, if you find yourself in the same boat, we're in this boat together. I just take a weekend like this to be thankful for what I have, and then just pay tribute to our friends that aren't here anymore. So